Welcome to the No Spin News, Thursday, July 24th, 2025. Stand up for your country. So about 8:30 in the morning, I got a call on my dopey cell phone from President Trump. And we had a half-hour conversation about pretty much everything. And I'll tell you about it in a final thought at the end of the program. There's certain things I can't report because it's personal between the president and myself, known him for 33 years now, something like that. I was and am very concerned about his health. He's got a real problem with a swollen hand because he shakes hundreds of hands a week. I don't shake hands very rarely anymore. I use the fist bump. And I tell people, look, wherever I go, people know me and they come up and a lot of them want to shake my hand. Others don't. And I just go, I give them the fist bump. Because if I didn't, I'd have swollen hands. And I never got COVID. And one of the reasons is that I didn't shake hands. I was doing a fist bump back then. But anyway, I'm being diverted. But I am concerned about President Trump's health because he's almost 80 years old here. The guy's got more energy than me, and that is saying something. All right. I can't keep up with him. So we talked about his health for a while. We talked about his mental and emotional state because he's getting pounded now with this Epstein stuff. And it's really cruel. So we're going to get into this a little bit today. What the corporate corrupt media is trying to do is tie Trump into Epstein in some kind of illegality. All right, that's what this is all about. They're not going to prove that, the mainstream press, I don't believe. But it doesn't matter to them. They want to create the perception that Donald Trump did something very, very, very wrong with Jeffrey Epstein. And that's what all of this is about. I'll prove it tonight to you. And it's, when you're a human being and you're absorbing that kind of punishment on a daily basis, it takes a toll. So I spent some time talking to him about that, and then we got into policy. And again, I will tell you about that in the final thought. Talking Points Memo is on the economy, which is by far the biggest, most important story in the country. And it will affect you directly. What happens in the U.S. economy? Every one of us. So there was good news this week for the Trump administration, a big Japanese trade deal. Okay? And the deal is basically President Trump negotiated a reduction of the 25% threatened tariff to 15%. And then Japan committed $550 billion to invest in the USA. Okay. Why is this good for the USA? It will generate hundreds of thousands of U.S. jobs, expand domestic manufacturing, secure American prosperity for generations. Also, the Japanese are going to take American cars much more so than they are now. When I was in Japan in May, we didn't see any American cars. Lots of German cars, no American cars. So now that's going to change. So this is a good thing for America, okay? The other trade deals that Trump has made so far are Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, UK, and a partial deal with China, but China is the big one. EU is coming up and China is coming up. Those are huge. And we're watching it very closely. In addition, AstraZeneca, which is a pharmaceutical company, is based in the UK, Cambridge. They're going to build a huge plant in Virginia. $50 billion they're investing in the USA. And the other companies that are building here, Project Stargate, Apple, NVIDIA, Micron, IBM, Taiwan Semiconductor, Johnson & Johnson, all pledged new facilities and a lot of money invested in the American economy. I mean, this is huge. This is huge. But you would never know it by the reportage of the press. So last night on the CBS Evening News, they spent 2 minutes on Epstein, 0 seconds on the Japanese deal. On ABC News, which basically is a weather forecasting outfit now, 4 minutes and 23 seconds on Epstein. Okay? 0 on the Japan deal. Nightly News, NBC, 3 minutes, 20 seconds on Epstein, nothing on the Japanese deal or the economy. So the three nightly news shows totally ignored the much bigger story that the Trump tariff policy is now working. And the stock market was up yesterday 500 points. Come on. If you're 401ks and you have all of that investment, I told you to hang on. Remember that when it was wobbly in earlier this year? Okay, you're now doing well. No guarantee. Things go south, that thing can come right back down. Now, you'll remember at the time of the tariffs, I said, I didn't know what was going to happen. But the hate Trump brigades, Armageddon, roll the tape.
This is not what the American people want. They want him focused on costs, and he's not doing that.
I expect, because it's still in a way early days, that we're going to see further pressure and more significant pressure on inflation as a result of the tariffs over the remainder of the summer and into the fall.
Donald Trump has made a lot of noise, and he's reducing the noise perhaps a little bit, but all of this, to my mind, doesn't change fundamentals very much at all, which is that the U.S. economy is not in good shape, and Trump's tariff policies are not going to solve the problems.
Well, that guy works at Columbia University, of course, like Trump, but he should be fired. His name is Jeffrey Sachs, and he's a director of the Center for Sustainable Development. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All of those people, reporters should be going in, well, wait, you said this, well, what do you say now? But no, of course not. I mean, they're not going to do that. So summing up, the economy will tell the tale in the midterms in 26, and that will, of course, define the Trump administration going forward. Epstein will disappear into the netherworld unless there's something else that we don't know. And the dishonest press has not learned any lessons at all from the CBS debacle, from the Stephanopoulos debacle, from the Colbert debacle, nothing. They continue to do what they do in a dishonest way, and that is the memo. All right, John McLaughlin is a pollster, independent. He works for Trump, but he does other things. The Tea Party, I didn't even know the Tea Party's still around, but they are. They hired him to do a poll on immigration, okay? And it was 1,000 general election voters, people who voted in the last presidential election. And McLaughlin broke it down on how many people showed up at the polls. So 37% Republican, 33 Democrat, 30 Independent. So it's a good sample. Question number one. It is neither fair nor right to allow a particular group of illegal immigrants to jump the line and be awarded the benefits of legal status and a potential pathway to U.S. citizenship before hundreds of thousands of potential legal immigrants who have followed the law and waited in line. Agree, 77%. Disagree, 13%. All right, that shows Americans are a fair people. Second question, agree or disagree? Everyone who has entered the country illegally, regardless of what additional crimes they may or may not have committed while in America and regardless of their employment, should be deported. All undocumented migrants should be booted. Okay, agree 56, disagree 34, don't know 10. Now, that reflects a higher Republican sampling in this poll. I think it's about 50-50 on that one. All right, last question. Would you support or oppose federal government's requiring an addition of simple identifier on real IDs to indicate whether you're a U.S. citizen or not? Support 65, oppose 22, don't know 13. Okay. I mean, look, you can't deport all of the undocumented. You can't. And I think Congress has got to recognize that fact, make new immigration laws because Biden just blew them all up, and let's enforce those laws. So if I'm President Trump, I'm saying, look, this is what we're doing now. We're rounding up all the criminals and some non-criminal migrants, and we're deporting them. I'd have a little more clarification on the non-criminals. But I want new laws that are sane and fair. And that shifts it into Congress a little bit. No reason why Congress can't pass new immigration laws. None. All right. Now, Texas has been awarded a $1.3 billion contract by the Trump administration to build the country's largest immigration detention center, Fort Bliss. That's right outside of El Paso. They got 1 million acres down there. I've been down there. That's some kind of place. So they're going to build it. They have an airport there, quick deportations, and this will be the center of American deportations, not only in the Trump administration, but going forward. The Trump administration, as you know, does not want birthright citizenship. The law says now, and it's in the Constitution, that if you are born in the USA, you are automatically a citizen. Trump administration wants that done away with, and they are losing. The U.S. Court of Appeals, Ninth Circuit, California, took up a case, 2-1 ruling. Both liberals voted to keep the birthright. The judge that was appointed by Trump voted against it. Okay, this happened yesterday, but this is not going to change. Okay, the Fourth Amendment is not going to be overturned, and this is going to stay. Might go up to the Supreme Court, but they'll rule as I predicted. Roll tape. Another controversy involving President Trump. He wants to end birthright citizenship. He's not going to be able to do it. The president does not have that power. I said that on December 11, 2024, about a year and a half ago, because if you read the Constitution, it's clear there. In order to overturn that, you'd have to get 2/3 of the states and 2/3 of both houses of Congress to vote to throw it out, and it's never, ever going to happen. Let's face it, the U.S. economy is under stress. National debt rising, trade war shaking the markets, and meanwhile, China is dumping the dollar and stockpiling gold. That's why I protected my savings with physical gold and silver through the only dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. And you can do this. Get precious metals delivered to your door or place in a tax-advantaged gold IRA. They'll even help you roll over your existing IRA or 401k, tax and penalty free. With billions in precious metals delivered, thousands of 5-star reviews, and an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, you can trust American Hartford Gold as I do. Please call 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. Let's go to the mail. Dan Hartz, Victorville, California. Bill, I've been watching you from Inside Edition days to the O'Reilly Factor now, the No Spin News. You're my go-to guy. I appreciate that, Dan. I'm sorry, but I don't think I have the capacity to give grace and benefit of the doubt to Obama, Biden, and their co-conspirators. Obama and Biden both made a concerted effort to hurt and diminish the country. I understand that we need to see proof in the Russian collusion hoax, but I'm not willing to give any of them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, you're perfect right to do that. Perfect right. But people run around saying Barack Obama's going to go to jail, and that's not the real world. Tom Claridge, Las Vegas, Nevada. Bill, I think you let Obama off the hook prematurely. Remember the infamous and highly detailed meeting between Obama, Biden, Brenner, Clapper, Susan Rice et al. Obama directed the parties and subsequently approved their actions. That is conspiracy. Okay, but we don't have any hard evidence that he directed the parties and approved their actions. He had meetings with all those people, lots of meetings, because they work for him. But there's no hard evidence that he said, you know what, we're going to trump up phony charges against the incoming president to try to destroy him. Now, if a whistleblower in the White House who worked directly for Barack Obama and had access to those meetings said that, that's evidence. If Michelle Obama got mad at Barack and said, hey, I know stuff, okay, but you don't know. You can surmise, that's okay, but you don't know. And neither is the Justice Department at this point. Okay, we have Robert, concierge member. Robert gets direct access to me. Anything bad happens to Robert, my crew is on his side. Robert. Hey, Bill, your analysis about Obama is spot on. While I don't think he'll do any prison time, I do believe his reputation and legacy will suffer. Democrats, they're not going to turn on Barack Obama. And most Republicans don't like him. I'm not sure whether history is going to be affected by that. Take a little bit more. Blake Shazarin, Thailand. Hot over there. Whew. Hey, Bill, remember what Richard Nixon said in his final speech before he left the White House? He said, others will hate you, but if you hate them back, you will be destroyed. Isn't that what happened today with the corporate left-wing media? What an excellent point, Greg. That's exactly what happened. Exactly. They hated Trump still going on, so much. They lost all credibility and fairness. Very good. Glad you're watching Thailand and around the world. Tom, Bill, you say you don't expect Mamdani to win the mayoral election in New York City. Your reasoning, please. The guy is miles ahead in the polls. No, he's not. Okay, he's ahead, but not miles ahead. And if one of the other two, Cuomo or Adams, drop out, which is certainly possible, those voters will go over to the other one and Mamdani will lose. So you got 3 Democrats running and 1 Republican, Curtis Sliwa. This is not a lock. Michael, things are going to change, Bill. Patriotism's on the rise. Love America. Love your neighbor. Count your blessings. Good will prevail. I hope so. I'm not as optimistic as you, Michael, but I like the spirit. I do. I like the spirit. Okay, once you go to BillO'Reilly.com store and get your free Not Woke bumper sticker when you pre-order Confronting Evil. And you're going to like this book. There's no doubt you will like it. Okay? It is an amazing display of facts you did not know about these heinous people, particularly Putin. Oh, my God. Anyway, if you pre-order, you get a free Not Woke bumper sticker. And if you become a premium or concierge member to BillO'Reilly.com, this is the best deal in the country. You get a free book, any book, including Confronting Evil, and the bumper sticker. What else? Do I have to drop the books from a helicopter on your property? Come on. Word of the day just for women tonight. Just for you ladies. Do not be, ladies, a harridan. Harridan. Back with my conversation this morning with Donald Trump. We don't talk enough about those truly making a positive impact. So let's take a moment to discuss Delta Rescue, the world's largest no-kill care-for-life animal sanctuary. Home to more than 1,500 rescued animals. It is staffed by trained specialists who provide lifelong care, love, and safety. They do incredible work. But look, it's important to remember that Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions from us. I have donated, and so should you. Their founder, Leo Grillo, built a legacy of dedication and everlasting love for animals. So consider making it a part of your legacy too. Talk with an estate planner. Check out the estate planning tab at deltarescue.org. You can make a difference, even get potential tax benefits. So please visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. deltarescue.org. If you are handling your own books or relying on a bookkeeper, it could lead to inaccuracies, missed deductions, and cash flow blind spots. FYSI's team of seasoned accounting professionals, corporate and tax attorneys manage every journal entry, bank reconciliation, and month-end close with precision, delivering clear, timely financial reports. They incorporated advanced tax avoidance strategies into your bookkeeping to capture deductions before you file. And they connect you with industry leaders and referral partners for growth opportunities. Set up your free consultation to learn how FYSI's experts can transform your books into a growth engine and accelerate your business to the next level. Act now to claim your free $5,000 business assessment. available for a limited time. Please go to FYSI.com/bill. Use promo BILL, or you can call 800-877-4000 today. Okay, so President Trump doesn't really give you a heads up when he's going to call. And last night, he called me 30 seconds before the Cuomo News Nation hit was set to begin. And I said, Mr. President, I'm going on TV in 30 seconds. Literally. Can I call you back? He goes, yeah. Okay. So I couldn't get him last night. So he calls me this morning. And the first thing, as I mentioned top of the program, was about his health and how he's doing because, he's my friend. So what am I going to ask him about himself first? And then he asked me. Remember, I don't volunteer things. I don't call the president. I had to call him back because that was courtesy, but I don't call him and bother him. And I don't suggest things to him when we're talking unless he asks me. Okay, my job is I'm still a journalist here. But when President Obama asked me stuff, I answered honestly. When George Bush the Younger asked me stuff, I answered honestly. Biden never asked me anything. Okay. So first thing was China. China's big. And I have the best sources in China in the American media by far. There's nobody close to me that has sources in Beijing. And I told him what was going on behind the scenes there. I can't divulge it, but it was, this is where they are. This is what they want. I do believe the president will visit China in the fall. I hope he does. But there is an opening there. There is. Now, Russia, I don't know anything. I don't have any contacts. Driving me nuts. Everybody in Russia is so terrified that they're going to get poisoned or shot or thrown out a window. I can't get anything. So China, I know everything. Russia, I don't know anything. I'm trying. And then we talked about Epstein. And I gave the president my view of how to handle it. Pretty much what I told you guys. Don't talk about it. Get Bondi, the Justice Department, in a methodical way to explain what's going on. But then, I went to Trump's wedding with Marla Maples. And Epstein was at that wedding. I didn't know him. I didn't know who he was. There were tons of people at the wedding. But when you know the history of New York City and that all these people intertwined, all these wealthy people, I wasn't wealthy. Trump just liked me. Comic relief, I guess. But I understand the culture. And just because you knew somebody doesn't mean you were involved with some kind of nefarious activity. Come on, that's just insane. Okay, so I gave him, look, I said, this is what it is. And he told me, boy, I didn't send that card and I didn't, okay. Guy's never lied to me. 33 years. Okay? Just so you know. So anyway, that was my morning. And I'm privileged to be able to talk to the President of the United States, no matter who it is. Okay, I respect the office that much. I just say to myself, how did I ever get to this? Kid from Levittown who was painting houses to try to put himself through college. And now I'm talking to the presidents of the United States. Only in America. Believe me, if I was in France, I wouldn't be talking to Macron or his wife, who I'm not going to do it. All right, thank you very much for watching and listening across our radio syndicate to the No Spin News. Big column on Sunday. I'll see you again on Monday. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.